Russia is now saying it has opened an investigation into claims of alleged mass graves of civilians supposedly killed by Ukrainian forces. But according to our reporters there on the ground,
and I quote, "We will seek to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine." Later, he addressed Ukrainian soldiers directly, saying, quote, "Your fathers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers did not fight the Nazi occupiers and did not defend our common motherland to allow today's neo-Nazis to seize power in Ukraine." All of which seems awful.
Something that's been floating around social media, which is understandably making people outraged. Let me go ahead and throw that up there for you. So what that says for everybody who's just listening is not the literal Twitter account of the literal Ukrainian National Guard applauding the Azov Battalion, which is a neo-Nazi militia, for greasing their bullets with pork fat to shoot Muslim people with. And that indeed is exactly what it is. It is the Ukrainian National Guard proudly posting a video of neo-Nazis greasing the bullets so that when they fight Chechen fighters who are on the side of the Russian government, you know, the idea is, you know, Muslims don't eat pork, and if you grease the bullet in pork fat, the idea is supposed to be like, oh, you'll go right to hell if this shoots somebody who's Muslim. It's a way to be like, you know, flip their own religious beliefs against them and sort of be, you'd think killing somebody is dickish enough, but it's like killing somebody and also I'm going to, in theory, send you to hell as well. So that is disgusting. Now, by the way, don't get it twisted. The Chechen fighters are fighting for the Russian government, and the Russian government did invade. But the fact of the matter is, and I've been clear on this from day one, the Ukrainian government has to purge the Azov Battalion from their ranks. And they actually are officially contract soldiers with the National Guard. So, in other words, the Ukrainian government are like, yeah, we welcome you in. And the Azov Battalion, according to their own internal numbers, they've admitted this, that like 20 or 30% or 10 to 20% of the unit were neo-Nazis. Now, by the way, I don't even think that number's high enough. The number is probably much higher than that because that's just what they admit, number one. And number two, the insignia that they use, it's like Nazi imagery. It's Nazi symbology. And there's been a scandal around the Azov Battalion as well because, I mean, apart from the fact that they're neo-Nazis, because the U.S. actually funded them for a while, and then when it came to light based on some good reporting that, hey, we're sort of arming neo-Nazis and the CIA is training neo-Nazis, we cut off the funding for them. But then a few years later, when nobody was looking, we went back and started funding them again. And so, look, man, we're going to get to more on this later, but this really has shades of like what the United States did in Afghanistan when Russia was in Afghanistan waging a war. What did we do? We armed and funded and propped up the Mujahideen and pretended they were freedom fighters. And then, of course, Osama bin Laden came out of that. We got, you know, you got to split up. You got the Taliban, you got Al-Qaeda, but they were funded quite a bit by the U.S., and they were our ally. We were using them in a proxy war against Russia. And now you're seeing a similar thing in Ukraine, that we're funding and arming and propping up, and they're officially part of the Ukrainian government, the Azov Battalion. And I don't know, guys, it strikes me that maybe arming neo-Nazis to the teeth is not a good idea.